I'm Sherry Heil, and this is Be an Idealist. This show is sponsored by Amplified Concepts. It is a freelancer collaborative that allows professionals, marketing professionals such as myself, to build teams so that we could better serve our clients' needs. Today, I am talking about how to respond to feedback. It's the new year, and we're all starting new goals and getting ready to do some new things. And with new things comes feedback, either solicited when you ask somebody for feedback, or unsolicited, people who just want to give you their opinion and help you for a variety of reasons. I have learned that feedback is one of the greatest gifts we could receive, even when we don't like it. Here's where I got that journey from. I was fairly young, didn't know a lot about business. I knew how to sell. I knew how to manage small teams. I knew, a little bit about how the operations of business worked because I was in management, but I never owned a business when I first went out on my own over a decade ago. And I went out on my own selling social media. I was actually one of the first few people in Metro Atlanta that was selling social media services, which kind of put me on the radar for people who were looking at this new emerging trend. And the result was a lot of very, very successful business people in Metro Atlanta invited me out to lunch, invited me to their office, wanted to hear more about what I was doing, and more importantly, wanted to give me some feedback on how I could do it better and what I could do to be more successful. And that was great, with the exception that at the end of the day, I ended up being more confused and more lost, and really didn't know where to go with it. So one of the first things I learned through that experience was, before you really internalize some of that feedback that you're getting, you've got to either be clear on what it is you're trying to accomplish and what you want to do, or you have to know that you are going in a certain direction and that feedback can kind of mold that direction. But you have to kind of know where you're going and your why. You have to know your why and why you're doing what you're doing. Otherwise, people will push and pull you all over the place with what they think that you should be doing based on who they are. I once referred feedback as being like a mirror. If you go look into like a fun house where they have all those mirrors, right? You could look in a mirror and it makes you look really fat, makes you look really skinny. If you get one of those magnifying mirrors and look at your face, you're going to see every single skin flaw on your face. So what the feedback you're getting from the mirror is based on how that mirror is made. And so that's very similar to the feedback you get from people when you're trying to do something. It's going to be very much dependent on their perspective, their motives, their goals, their experiences. It's going to be about how they are made, not how you are made. So when you're out there and you're doing all these new things, you're creating your ideal world, you're going to get this feedback. And the first thing you got to remember as you're hearing it is, this feedback is based on who that person giving the feedback is. The second thing you got to do is ask yourself, what is my why, and why am I trying to do this, and how does that feedback fit in? So there's a few different rules for getting the best use out of feedback. One, seek it out from people who are more aligned with you, with your values, with what you're trying to do, with who you're trying to be. So don't just seek out feedback from people who've been successful unless the way they got to that success is through a value system and a why that is aligned with what you're trying to do. Otherwise, their feedback may not really fit what your path is. The second thing is understand what is going on when you're resisting feedback. I had a situation where I was designing a website, and I had a couple different themes going on with the website. It was not really consistent yet. And I had asked the design friend of mine to give me some feedback on it. And there was a couple of things he really didn't like. And when he told me why he didn't like it, I was like, yeah, I don't like it either. That needs to go. But then there was a couple of other things he didn't like, and he told me why. And I went, no, that's the reason why I like that. And I really resisted what he was saying. I listened to why he didn't like it, which was more of a design reason, but I also listened to the theme reason he didn't like it, and that's what I was resisting, was that theme reason. And that resistance really solidified with me of, oh, wait, no, that's the theme I want to run with. I'm resisting you because you're wrong based on what I want to do. That's the theme I want to run with. I'm just not communicating it well for you to understand why I want to run with that. So what I got back from that feedback was not to throw the theme away, but to improve it on it so that he understood the why behind that theme. So when you're getting feedback and you're resisting it, it doesn't mean ignore it, right? Because there's value in it. There was value in that feedback with the theme that I really liked, which was he didn't understand what I was trying to do, and I need to improve on that theme. I didn't need to throw his feedback away, nor did I need to take his opinion and throw my theme away. I had to really listen and say, I feel very strongly about that theme. He's not understanding why. I'm taking that feedback, and even though he didn't say it, I don't understand why he said I don't like it. I had to hear from that feedback. You don't understand why I don't like it, and I got to show you my why. So, in conclusion, when you're out there trying to create your ideal world, you're going to get a lot of feedback. You cannot please everybody, and that's not your job to please everybody. Don't listen to everybody else's shoulds. Know your why. Know that this is your journey that you get to do and ride and share what you want to share. Take their feedback as a gift of what's being communicated well and what's not. Take their feedback as a gift of where you can be going if it aligns with you. Take their feedback as a gift of who your audience is. Maybe some people giving you feedback, they really hate what you're doing. They're not your audience. Now you're clarifying who your audience is. This is your journey. This is your ideal world you're creating. So that's my talk for today, and I hope you have an ideal day. Thank you.